In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to create cinematic content that builds a personal brand. Most creators are invisible online because they're creating content like it's still 2019. Meanwhile, the creators who understand visual storytelling, who create content that looks like a movie. I'm Zadar Mutlu. Growing a personal brand has completely changed my life, and now I teach other people how to do the same. It has allowed me to go from a broke barber in Kansas to now making over $50,000 per month whilst traveling the world and cutting hair for pro footballers like Marco Reus at the age of 23. That transformation didn't happen by accident. It happened because I understood something most creators miss. Content is cinema. Fitness coaches now with content are able to double their income by moving from random gym videos to using strategic visual content. Solo entrepreneurs scaling from $3,000 per month to $15,000 per month using cinematic storytelling. If you're tired of watching other creators build the life you want while your content gets fucking 12 likes, this video was made for you. What I'm about to show you now is the exact system that I used that separates amateur content from premium personal brands. Stay locked in, because by the end of this, I've got an exclusive invitation to something that could change your life completely. All right, why 99% of creators are invisible? When someone opens Instagram, they're hit with hundreds of pieces of content, right? Random videos, it all looks the same. It kind of just looks amateur. But then they see something different, something that stops their attention for just a split second. Something that looks like it belongs in a movie. That's the power of visual storytelling. But here's what most creators don't understand. This, right, this isn't luck, it's a system, okay? And let's get into that fucking system. This is a content trap. Most people, they post quite consistently, but they don't try and make any improvements. They don't understand the intricacies and the psychology involved. First thing you need to understand is that you are not making content for your friends. That's one of the biggest traps I see when people start their content journey, is they're kind of trying to make the content for their friends and families. You are not making content for your friends and families. Get that through your head, okay? Maybe you have 1,000 followers right now. You're making content for your following down the line, okay? But why does this matter right now, okay? 3 years ago, phone content could still break through. The bar was a lot lower. Today, the bar has skyrocketed. Viewers' eyes are trained by Netflix productions and fucking cinema movies, plus brands spending millions on content. The other day, I saw a fucking Versace ad that had Bella Hadid and another model, I forgot what it was, for like a perfume. And immediately I was like, damn, that bar is so high, because I'm trying to now make cinematic content to promote my brand, okay? So what you need to realize right now is your competition isn't like other beginners anymore. You are competing with high-level professionals. But here's the opportunity. You don't need millions, you just need skills, okay? Before techniques, foundation. First thing you need to find out is your why. Understand this first. None of the technical knowledge that you'll learn when it comes to content creation matters if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, okay? Start with this. If you want to build a personal brand, ask these questions. Why? Is it to make more money, financial freedom, to not worry about the bills, to focus on what I love, to live my ideal day every single day, spend time with my family? Okay, now that you've got your why, here's the legacy question. Why do you want people to remember you? What exactly about your content do you want to know about you? What exactly is it about your content that's going to separate you from the rest? The exact reason is going to be the reason that people remember you for long term. The next thing, once you find your real why, is the pain point method. Very, very crucial. You need to understand, what transformation did you go through that you can help other people with? Okay, without transformation, without change, people want to see evolution. They don't want to see stagnation. So pause here and write down on your notepad right now your answers. The system only works if you're clear on your destination. Next thing you need to do is start consuming content like a creator and not a consumer. Every time you see a video that grabs your attention, ask yourself these key points. Whenever I see content, I scroll content intentionally. I don't scroll content for dopamine. I scroll content for ideas, for visual cues, what's going on in the industry. Did this video have color grading? Okay, and if it did it set the mood? Did the music play a part? How did the editing control the pacing? What camera angles or transitions stood out, and what visual stories were given? Remember, amateurs scroll entertainment. Pros like me, we scroll content for inspiration. Next thing you need to start doing, if you really want to go down the cinematic path, okay, and make content like me, study movies, watch movies. A guy I met in Barcelona, Steph, okay, he's got a very nice YouTube channel. You can search him up, Steph's Way. Very, very cinematic content. And I asked him, what does he do? He just watches movies on repeat. He knows every single old school movies. They analyze everything from the lighting, okay, to the tension build and how a certain character is developed with dialogue. This is something as well that I do very well in my YouTube videos. I watch TV series like Peaky Blinders, movies like Imitation Game. I study dialogue. How do people speak with dramatic entry, right? I'm not copying, but I'm learning the language of visual storytelling. The next thing, which is really important, you need to start reverse engineering successful creators' approaches, okay? Pick 3 to 5 creators who visually inspire you, break down their style. These are the things you need to understand. Take notes, screenshots, time their cuts, make a dedicated folder within your Instagram. You know, when you save, make a folder and put that in there. I've got many folders. I've got cinematic inspiration, videos to create, people to watch. Remember, you don't want to copy their shots, but you want to understand the principles behind their content and what drives their success. Once we reverse engineer the process, we can start to strategically plan our content system. The biggest myth in content creation is that I need to carry my camera everywhere and film everything I do. This is entirely wrong, guys, okay? This is why most creators burn out and create average content. What you need to do is you need to batch content. If you're watching this, it's likely that you're in the beginning stage, in the documenting stage, in the discovery stage. You don't have time to create content 24/7 like maybe I can right now. But you don't need to do that. You just need to plan your week in advance. Batch content. I'll tell you right now, I film 6 to 7 YouTube videos in one sitting. I don't carry my camera 24/7. I take my camera bag maybe with me 2 to 3 times a month maximum. I don't document every moment. I don't force content creation. Right, when I went to Barcelona in Italy with the boys, I didn't take my camera out that many times, maybe 2 to 3 times. But I had a strategic plan. I understand now, what do I actually need to document? What's gonna help my content? And when do I need to document that content? Okay, think of it like this. Would a movie director walk around filming everything? Or do they build, film shots? Do they build a script to follow? They plan everything, every scene, every moment. Start thinking like a director. Do not think like a content creator. That's exactly what I do right now. And this single shift will save you 10 hours plus a week. There's nothing worse than, you sit down to edit and you've got to scroll through fucking 50 gigabytes of footage and you only use 30 seconds. Next thing, when we plan our content, detailed shot lists. Before every content day, I write down the exact shots I want. I often use AI for this as well. I scout locations in advance. The brand video I put out on my main YouTube channel, the 1.5 minute long video, at the end of that, I filmed a shaving scene at the coast here in Antalya. I planned that shot a month in advance, okay? 3 days before I went there without my camera, just to see, could I make this work? The day before I went with my camera and I just did some planning shots. Could I do this? When the sun is over here, where should I put the camera? Okay, so that when I went there the next day, I was in and out within 15 minutes. I filmed and I bounced. This is called the shot list method. I plan wide establishing shots to set the scene, close-ups for emotion, and movement shots for energy, B-roll for transitions. For example, if I'm building a routine video, okay, I might have a wide shot of my bedroom in morning light, close-up of the alarm clock, or maybe my phone ringing, medium shot of me making coffee. Plan shots. Guys, don't pray for these shots, okay? I did mention I use AI, and that's a very helpful resource, okay? ChatGPT can just generate the shot lists for you. When I went to Amalfi Coast, I had every single shot planned. How did I do that? I told ChatGPT where I'm going, what I'm doing, what I'm trying to emulate. I described the situation. I asked for a detailed shot list. Literally just type, generate a comprehensive B-roll checklist for cinematic content, given the information I gave you, okay? Which would be the step 1. That's the information you give them, and that's what you ask for, okay? Step 3, you get 20 plus specific shots, and you go with that. Okay, this has revolutionized my content planning. I went from spending 2 to 3 hours brainstorming content to getting 25 plus professional shots in 30 seconds. Okay, be super specific with AI. Okay, AI prompt engineering is a skill, and it's a skill you develop with time. So the more you do this, the better you're gonna get. Here are some examples of advanced ChatGPT prompts. Okay, so if you need, pause the video and copy that. Like, you need to ask for specific shots. Generate only wide establishing shots. Give me intimate close-up shots. What about dynamic movement shots? Another thing you could do is ask for inspiration. Given the information I've given you, right, give me a comprehensive list of 5 to 10 movie scenes that I could emulate. There you go. Then watch the professionals. Maybe there's a director you like. To film my 1.5 minute, Zidane promo, I literally gave ChatGPT 3, 4, 5 movies and different directors. Michael Scorsese, okay, was a big one in that. And also you need to include equipment context. I'm shooting handheld for a raw feel. Do you have access to gimbals, drones? There's no use asking for shots that, and ChatGPT doesn't know the equipment you have. I literally tell ChatGPT the exact camera, the lenses I've got. I've got a 5mm 1.4 prime lens. I've got 85. I've got a 20-60, whatever it is, okay? The game changer follow-up prompt. After getting your initial shot list, use this. Now take these shots and organize them into a logical filming sequence that would make the most efficient capture in one session. Considering the lighting changes, the movement of the sun, setup requirements, efficient with your time. Like I said, you don't have that much time, right? For me, if I wanted to shoot a scene with the sun coming down, I've got maybe 15 minutes before it's either too dark or it's too light beforehand. So this kind of planning will save you hours in advance, and this is what gives you professional level efficiency. How to create content buckets. Random posts, random results, my friend. You need content buckets. Here are my top 3. Transformation journey. Show where you were, where you are, where you're going. Use color grading to show contrast between past and present. When I'm showing past, footage, I often desaturate it and maybe add a little bit of grain. It gives it that throwback feel. I even add a little reverb into the audio to make it seem a little bit distant, okay? This is my story. From skinny, fat construction worker to building a 6-figure online coaching business. From cutting hair in Kansas to flying out to cut Marco Royce's hair, okay? If I'm gonna put this in a video, see the mood within this cinematic piece right here, okay? It's a little bit darker, right? The green tones are a little bit muddier. There's a little bit of blue in here. It's not too yellow, it's not too bright. This is the key in visual storytelling, color grading. A great helpful thing to do is actually when you color grade your footage, don't color grade it all the way, right? Color grade it up until the LUT input, then save that. And then each time you wanna use it, input a LUT that fits the mood and then change the color scheme a little bit. Maybe you need desaturate, decontrast, add contrast, add brightness. Pick and choose, move efficiently, okay? Later footages, when you're showing where you are right now, that's where you can include that warm luxury grading to show the success. Have contrast between shots that you're trying to show where you were and where you are now. That kind of visual key storytelling, accompanied with very good dialogue, will take your content to the next level. Elevated everyday movements. Make ordinary routines cinematic. Shaving scenes, close-up, slow motion. Often audio is going to play a massive role in how this develops. If you need an example of how to do this well, watch my 1.5 minutes Zidane promo on my main channel. Another thing that really helped, this morning routine video, this hit 20 million views. So if I open this up, we can examine, okay, establishing shot. Me shaving, obviously, going through my routine, making it look aesthetic. Okay, something like this, simple as this, that took me fucking 20 minutes to film, right? This took me 20 minutes to film and it got me 20 million plus views, okay? Here's how you apply this. Take whatever you do daily and practice. You don't have to shoot this for content, but practice this beforehand. Working out, cooking, getting ready, commuting, whatever it is, film it like you're filming a scene for Wolf of Wall Street. Proper lighting, multiple angles. Make the mundane look fucking magical. Number 3, the personality-driven process. Show yourself in action, guys. People connect with you, not just the skill. In business, people buy from people they like, and it's hard for you to come across the screen and entice a new viewer to follow you if you aren't able to show personality. So talk, react, let your passion show through. Don't be afraid to really show who you are on that camera. When I showed my barbering content, why did I pop off in the beginning? Because I wasn't filming the haircut, okay? I was filming me. I was filming me engaging with clients. I was filming me sweeping up the floor, counting my cash. My personality came through the camera, right? I paired that up with the right audio, old school R&B. I didn't just show the cuts. I showed my reactions. I showed my passion. And that's why people like me. I knew very early on that I wasn't going to be the best barber. I wasn't going to be A-star barbers. I wasn't going to be Sam Rascals, right? But I could be fucking Zidane Mutlu. I could be Abu Zuz, okay? I could be Mr. Zuzu. Here's the principle. Whatever your expertise is, right? It could be fucking bricklaying. It doesn't matter. Don't just show the end result. Show yourself in the process. Let your personality come through the screen. Let people connect with you. Here's another example, okay? See this? Easily, I could have just shown the haircut at the end. But people see this and they think like, okay, this guy's a barber.
Go ahead, be gone with it. Drinks on me. Go ahead, be gone with it. Working with. Go ahead, be gone with it. Look at those hips. Go ahead, be gone with it. You make me smile. Go ahead, be gone with it. Go ahead.
Okay, that's a very good example of showing my craft, but showing who I am in the process. Look at the start.
I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. You motherfuckers watch your eye attack.
It's almost like a fucking Nike commercial, guys. Right? Very important. Now, how to create content buckets. Define your transformation. This is very key. Answer these questions with yourself right now, okay? Then look to identify your daily activities that can be filmed, right? That can look cinematic. That's step 2. Step 3, determine the process. What do people actually want to learn and what are you demonstrating, okay? Can you show your personality through this? Very important. And here's how you choose the right camera. You don't need a $5,000 camera to start with. I started with an iPhone 12 mini, guys. It was fucking cracked, it was shit, but it worked, right? Because I understood the key principles that I'm giving to you right now. Most people watching this probably have a phone that's capable of shooting content right now. Here's what matters more than a camera. Understanding that capabilities involved. Right now, I've got a Panasonic Lumix version 2, and it's good enough. This is the first camera I bought, and it's the only camera I've ever bought. Maybe I'm gonna upgrade in the future, but right now, it's all that I need. How do you select the right lens? Okay, 50mm, very cinematic, great for talking head content. 85mm, great for pictures, portraits, and stuff like that. You know, around the 20 to 30 range, you're looking at wide establishing shots, showing environment, more vlogging, cinematic content. Anything in 35 is kind of in between that cinematic 50 and that 20 to 30 cinematic storytelling, okay? Use that wisely. Gear is secondary, skills and understanding are first. Choose your lighting. Lighting, I always try to shoot around golden hour, okay? Very important. Also shoot horizontal. What I mean by shooting horizontal is if the light's coming from here, the camera's over here. Right now, look, you see the camera's here, but the light from the harbor is actually coming here. So that's how I do it. See how right now on my face, I've got a little bit of shadow on half my face? Very key. And you see on this camera right now that the shadow's on the face where it's facing the camera, again, very key. So the lighting is coming from this direction, right? And the camera's on the shadow side. So I get a little bit of horizontal. That's cinematic. Remember, overcast days is very good for soft, even lighting with no harsh shadows. It's perfect for authentic, real conversations and flat color grades. Window light, very dramatic. Harsh sunlight, I would usually avoid this. Unless you're very good with DaVinci Resolve, I wouldn't really encourage filming. It often looks amateur with the lighting right on top of you. It's not optimal, okay? You always want to shoot at 24 frames per second. This is cinema standard. That's what gives you that real good, you know, cinematic blur that we're often associating with high production content. 60 FPS and above, use that when you intend to slow footage down. So I might shoot at 60, right? Or I might shoot at 120 and slow it down to 24 frames per second. That's what I'll do for slow motion content. How do you choose the correct aperture? Aperture controls how much of your image is in focus. Lower f-stop numbers mean less in focus, okay? That sharp distinction between you and the background. Right now, I'm shooting this at an f-stop of 5, so you can still see a little bit of the background. But if I were to shoot this at maybe 1.2, it'd be very extremely cinematic because you wouldn't be able to see the background. You would just see me, it'll be blurry behind me and all the focus is on me. But sometimes you want to include a little bit of that background. Right now, I have the intention of shooting at f5 because I want to show off this fucking banana tree, right? Shoot with intention. Next thing we need to understand is our set shutter speed, right? A good rule to use is just double your frames, okay? My camera uses a degree shutter, so 180 would be double because there's 360 degrees in a circle, right? So if I'm shooting at 24, there would be 1/50. If I'm shooting at 60, there'll be 1/20. Or if you have a camera like this, you shoot at 180 degrees and it does it automatically. How to compose cinematic shots. This is lovely, okay? Again, look at top creators and emulate. Look at cinema, emulate. Create some depth, okay? The biggest difference between amateur and cinematic content is depth. Look at this image right here. This was shot at 1.4 f-stop with a 50mm lens. I intentionally left something in the foreground with me in the focus. This is a little bit softer and the background is very out of focus, right? With all the focus on me. This is extremely cinematic. Why your environment matters, okay? If you check the views on that, you'll see that this video did extremely well. There's a reason for that. Example 2, when you're filming a workout, don't just show yourself lifting. Show the gym equipment in the foreground, in the background, middle ground, whatever it is, okay? Look, my cameraman right here intentionally left a part of the frame, right, with the equipment in the foreground, but it's out of focus with me here. This is how you create that cinematic feel. It feels like you're watching a movie. Principle, you need to think in layers. Foreground, middle ground, background, and usually the middle ground is where you or the subject will be in focus. Next thing, leading lines. Architecture stairs, right? Roads, bridges, corridor walls. Natural examples would be like shorelines, pathways, tree lines, horizontal lines, rock formations. Leading lines are super cinematic and it tells the viewer where to look, okay? Position yourself in these lines to point towards your subject or whatever you want the viewer to look at. Use leading lines to frame in a deliberate manner. Example, if you're filming at a beach, don't just stand anywhere. Position yourself so the shoreline creates a diagonal line that leads to you. Here, I intentionally shot this, right, with the horizontal around the halfway, okay? This is not exactly a leading line, but it creates a cinematic feel because right now I'm on the third, which we'll get into here. I'm on this line third. I'm looking over here with the horizontal across. Very cinematic. Applying the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds, okay, I don't need to go too deep on this, but you want to basically, like when I'm shooting right now on my camera, I can see on the monitor thirds, okay? I'm kind of trying to be in the middle, but if I need to, I can be on this line, right? And this would be good for a thumbnail right now. If I put a thumbnail here, I could put a title, bang, very cinematic. Every shot basically, guys, needs to be composed intentionally. Ask yourself, why am I framing it this way? What am I feeling? What am I trying to portray to the viewer? Okay, this is a very, very valuable resource. Okay, the rule of thirds, okay, cinematic lines, foreground, and using focus. Okay, these are key principles. The next thing is color grading mastery. If you are, wanting to get into color grading mastery, there's a link down below, right, for a limited exclusive time offer to the Creators HQ that will teach you, right, a course created by me that has over 200 members in there right now, all learning color grading and mastery. Understand these. My signature style right now is high contrast, deep blacks, bright whites, cinematic bars, very yellow tones. The cinematic bars that give the widescreen movie feel, while the contrast makes everything pop. When people see my videos, they immediately know it was created by me and they know it looks premium, okay? How do you build visual brand recognition? Now, think about creators that you follow. You probably recognize their content within the first second, even without seeing their face or reading their username. That's visual brand recognition. And it doesn't always have to be super high production. It just needs to be unique. Find 2 to 3 visual elements that become your trademark, right? For me, it's that style that I've told you, but for you, it might be different. It might even be the way you talk. It might be your opening, okay? For example, Leo Skepi on Instagram. It's not exactly high production value. It's like off a Snapchat, but he starts this video off the same way with the same energy, and it makes his content highly bingeable, okay? Color combinations, movements, particular aspect ratios, content visual elements, okay? Film grain vignetting. Again, Steph Sway on YouTube does an excellent way of doing this. He knows what he's doing, okay? Now let's get into brand guidelines. What are your 3 to 5 main colors? Do you use warm? Do you use cool? Where are you shooting? If you're shooting, late at night in New York City, maybe not using warm tones. Maybe you want, high contrast shadows, cool color grades. Shot types. Think about the shot types you want to do. What's your go-to framing? Do you prefer close-ups? Do you prefer wide shots? What angles do you use most? These are so many questions I'm asking you guys. You guys really don't understand how much goes into content. It's actually a lot more in-depth than you think it is. Most people today just point and shoot. But there are so many things that you need to ask yourself. Movement styles. Do you use gimbal, handheld, static tripod shots? Okay? The frames, the colors. Again, the color grading. Are you adept at color grading? Do you know all of these techniques? Are you able to implement them professionally? Editing. Do you use fast or slow? Do you use music to keep the energy? What kind of text, fonts, styles match your brand? A font that I use on my YouTube videos is Bodoni because it's got that luxury but old school cinematic feel, like a fucking 60s Hollywood movie. Okay? Your visual style is your signature. You want people to recognize your work instantly. Next thing, again, another layer to the onion, fellas. Setup. To establish context, location, and mood, set the scene for what's coming. Create visual expectation. Conflict. What's the challenge? Okay? Where's the tension? What's the question? What are we actually trying to fucking solve? What do we actually get? What's the point of the video? How does it end? What's the transformation? What did we learn? What did we achieve? Even a simple workout can have this structure, right? Set up early in the morning, empty gym, determination. That's the energy. The conflict is the challenging workout, pushing the limits, high octane moments, right? In the last vlog that I put out, you'll see that. I use that very well. The resolution, the completion, the satisfaction, the growth. There's a story arc. My content does best when there's a story involved, okay? So use storytelling to your advantage. And then the quality checklist. Before you publish, ask yourself honestly, does the color grading match the emotion? Okay, do the camera angles support the message? Does the pacing match the content goal? Does the audio enhance the visual story? Does it tell a complete story? Now, what I've shown you is just the foundation, but let me be completely real with you for a moment. The cinematic advantage, the planning systems, the technical foundations, this is real knowledge. Knowledge that took me years to develop and hundreds of thousands of dollars in trial and error to figure it out. All these questions I'm asking you now, that's only a glimpse of what it takes to create visual cinematic storytelling. Here's the truth, most creators, and probably you right now that you don't want to hear, knowing the theory and mastering execution is very different. Alex Hormozy, I saw him on a video yesterday, literally yesterday, he said, the biggest difference between high performers and low performers is the amount of time it takes to execute after performing a decision. You've performed a decision right now to click on this video and watch it right now to this point, to this end. Are you going to do what it takes next to really evolve your content? You can understand color grading concepts, but do you know the exact settings to achieve a certain mood in DaVinci? You can plan shot lists, but do you know which specific shots actually convert into business opportunities? You understand composition rules, but can you consistently apply them in the correct manner under pressure when you're filming? This is where 90% of content creators are stuck. They have the knowledge, but lack the systemic approach to plan implementation. The time they take from decision to execution, it doesn't connect. That's why I created the Content Creators HQ. Okay, Creators HQ isn't just another course. It's the systematic path from average content to premium personal branding content. Inside, you get my complete color grading tutorials, exact settings, the before and after breakdowns of my actual content, weekly live calls where I go over your content and color grade your footage and show you how I would do it myself. Okay, Q&As, masterclasses, complete editing workflow systems. You get my power grades, my LUTs, exact process from filming raw footage to final export, and you get the style development, find your unique cinematic voice without copying everyone else. But here's what the Content Creators HQ really delivers. It's the difference between knowing how to create content, cinematic content, and actually performing it. If you are serious about creating cinematic content, and you want to learn how to use your camera, and you want to learn how to use DaVinci Resolve, you want to learn how to create YouTube videos, the link down below is for you. Previously, the Creators HQ was $80 a month. But right now, for this video, because you're watching up until this point, I'm going to reward you $30 a month right now. People inside the Creators HQ aren't just getting more followers, they're attracting the right type of people, the right type of followers. Because I'm telling you right now, when your content looks like a movie, people treat you like the main character. Now, I need to be transparent. Creators HQ isn't for everyone. If you're looking for shortcuts or not willing to invest some time in mastering the technical skills, this isn't for you. Creators HQ is for creators who understand that content creation is a craft worth mastering. It's more than just personal branding, it's a type of personal brand. If you want to create a cinematic brand, that's a big difference between creating content online with an iPhone and content with a camera. If that's the route that you want to go down to, take this exclusive opportunity and join the Creators HQ. So if you want to learn how to make professional content, I'll see you inside the Content Creators HQ. All right? Catch you later.